The cold storage business is very important for the entire food chain, uh, especially in the potato business. The harvest is generally happens once a year, and the seed is sown in the month of November, December, and the harvest happens in the month of March. So the entire harvest is once a year. So how do people have potato for the rest of the years? So it has been traditionally kept in cold storages from March till December. The cold storage acts as a bridge between the calendar months, so that in the off seasons the customers, consumers get the produce, and the farmers also get a better realization and avoid selling all their produce at one time. The farmers have the facility of cold storages in Bengal, and approximately 50 to 60% of the harvest is stored in the cold storages, and 40% of the harvest is kept outside the cold storages every year. This is also important because in the month of February, March, April, May, the people of Calcutta and its surroundings and other states consume this 40% potato which is kept outside the cold storage. And from June onwards till December, the people of the country consume potato which is kept inside the cold storages. The relationship between the cold storage and the potato farmer is a very close one. We are mutually dependent on each other. There are two aspects of setting up a cold storage financially. One is the initial capital investment that you need to do. Now, that's a very large investment. For that, the investor needs to, or the owner needs to put in his own capital, as well as the bank gives a term loan to the company or proprietor. Both capitals, own capital as well as the term loan, can help set up the initial cold storage. The cold storage requirement is you must have decently large piece of land, and the building generally is a 5 storied building like a shell without any solid floors. The floors are made of wood with air gaps in the middle, like of slats of wood are connected together and made into a floor. And on the top floor is the cooling apparatus, which in our case and in most cases in India is still the bunker coil system. The bunker coils are set on the top floor. Like if you remember a refrigerator, if you go behind a refrigerator, you will see the black coils running around like that. Similarly, inside a cold storage, you will find those coils. Inside the coils runs the refrigerant, which cools the space. So the second most important thing apart from the building is the machine room. The machine room has compressors. Compressors are used for sucking in the refrigerant, converting the ammonia or the whatever freon, whatever the refrigeration you choose, into liquid or gas and pushing it back inside. So that circulation of the refrigeration cools the cold storage. Then you need skilled manpower to operate those machines. You need skilled manpower to marking the bags and putting the bags inside the cold storage. And the cold storage ideally should also be set up in an area which grows potato. For running the cold storage, again, there is a tradition or a trade practice whereas the farmer needs to be financed by the bank through the cold storage. The farmer will bring, for example, 100 bags, say for worth 50,000 rupees. And the bank will fund 60% of the value, say 30,000, to the farmer through us. So, why are we involved in the middle? Because it's very difficult for the bank to keep a track of 5,000 farmers. So, the farmer is given finance through us. So, the easy for the bank to monitor the loan through one entity instead of it dealing through 5,000 people. Why does the farmer need finance? Because he doesn't want to sell his entire produce at the time of harvest. Traditionally, the price of any produce, when the abundance is there, is lower.
When the farmer produces his produce, he sells it on the field. The small farmers who cannot afford to hold them in the cold storages, so they sell it on the field. And those who can afford to hold, they keep a part of their produce in the cold storage. So to keep that portion into the cold storage, they will have to get a bond with an advance payment of how many quintals of potato he is going to keep in the cold storage.
প্রত্যেকের লোকের একটা কন্ট্যাক্ট নাম্বার থাকে, একটা বন্ড আলু রাখার জন্য একটা কাগজ পাওয়া যায়, তাতে নাম্বার আছে। সেই নাম্বার দেখে আমরা এখানে মার্কা করি, সেই মার্কা হিসেবে তার ভিতরে যায়। পরে তার এসআরের নাম সেইটা লেখা থাকে স্টক রিসিপ্টে, সেই রিসিপ্টে অনুযায়ী তার মার্কাটা আলুটা বের করে দিতে হয়।
Major number of bond holding happens. See, for example, I have the money, but I don't cultivate potato. I am the trader. So I will buy more bond and sell them at a black price, at a black market price. And again, when you go to the cold storage, there is a cost addition. And from cold storage, they sell it to the traders or to the local village traders. Then village traders give it to the wholesale market. From wholesale market to the retail market. There are 4-5 intermediation in between the farmer's produce and the ultimate consumer.
Suppose he has harvested 300 bags. Well, what he'll do, he will sell 100 bags and raise some money for his labor, his family, and food, and seed, and fertilizer, and whatever he has. And then he will take a loan on the balance 200 bags so that he can pay off all his debts of the seed potato, of the fertilizer, of the bag, and the labor, and the tractor, and So that is how he runs a show.
লোন যেটা দিচ্ছে সে লোনের তো আমাদের ইন্টারেস্ট সহ ফেরত দিতে হয় গভর্নমেন্টকে। আমরা সমবায় থেকে লোন নেই, কিন্তু ইন্টারেস্ট সহ ফেরত দিতে হবে। কি হেল্প তাহলে হলো?
We charge the bank rate. The bank, whatever interest it charges us, we charge the same rate to the farmer.
Potato is not from India. It's from South American countries. That's where it originated. In fact, even temples these days, very ancient temples like the one in Puri, they do not serve potato as offering to the gods because it's considered foreign. Now, from that to today's scenario where India is the second largest producer of potato in the world, so it's been a long journey. The potato which is cultivated in India is largely across and along the Gangetic belt.
West Bengal is the second largest producer of potato in the country, and it is been always so for a very long time. Uttar Pradesh is the largest producer of potato.
Potato has got too many health benefits. Particularly, it can be consumed by all age group people. The reason behind this is it is very easily digestible and it has got very good nutrient profile, and it provides easily digestible calories to the human body. So it can be consumed in most of the health ailments excepting obesity. Apart from this, you see potato has got very good mineral profile as well. It will provide you very good amount of potassium, and it is very low in sodium. So it can be given to patients with diarrhea as well, because in diarrhea often potassium and sodium electrolyte imbalance is there. Apart from this, it also contains good amount of fiber, and it has got soluble as well as insoluble fiber.
এই বৃষ্টি হওয়ার জন্য ফলনটা তো কম হয়ে গেছে, আর পোকার আমদানি প্রচুর, পোকায় অনেক আলু নষ্ট করে দিয়েছে। তা ওষুধ খরচা আমাদের প্রচুর প্রচুর ওষুধ খরচা করতে হয় বিঘে, তার মানে পরিস্থিতি অনুযায়ী খরচ হয়ে যাবে। হয়তো 1 বিঘে জমিতে দেখা যাবে 3,000, 3,500 কি 2,000 এরকম খরচ হয়ে যায়, 2,500, পরিস্থিতি অনুযায়ী খরচ হয়ে যায়।
A potato plant is actually affected by a large number of diseases. It can be bacterial, it can be fungal, it can be viral, it can be even nematodes from the soil. But the greatest limiting factor to the production of potato is a single disease known as the late blight of potato. Late blight is not only a problem in India, but it's a problem worldwide. In fact, there has been studies which show that if you can stop late blight, a large number of the population of the world can be fed. And in fact, it's one of the 5 diseases which affects humankind. So it's really a very important disease, not only that, and it's the biggest and the largest limiting factor for potato production in the world, and similarly in India. So that is what is the number one. And to a smaller extent, it's early blight. As the name suggests, affects in the early in the season, and the late blight affects later in the season. But the late blight, of course, is much more devastating. It can completely destroy the whole field in 2 to 3 days, and the farmer can be ruined.
প্যাথোজেন পপুলেশন কীভাবে ডাইভার্স হয়, কেননা আমাদের পশ্চিমবঙ্গে যে সমস্ত জমিতে আলু চাষ হয় সেগুলো প্রধানত ধান চাষের জমি, সারা বছর সেখানে ধান চাষ হয় এবং শুধুমাত্র শীতকালে সেখানে আলু চাষ হয়। তাহলে অল ওভার দ্য ইয়ার কী হয়, ওয়াটার লকড কন্ডিশনে থাকে ফিল্ড। শুধুমাত্র শীতকালে যখন আলু চাষ হয়, আলু চাষের জন্য দরকার হয় লোমি সয়েল, ওয়েল এরেটেড সয়েল, আর দরকার হয় ওয়েল ড্রেনড ফিল্ড। যখন প্যাথোজেনটা শীতকালে শুধুমাত্র আলুকে ইনফেক্ট করে, তখন শুধুমাত্র এটা সিজনাল, একটা সিজনই ফিল্ডে বেঁচে থাকে। আর অল ওভার দ্য ইয়ার এটা ফিল্ডে বেঁচে থাকতে পারে না, কেননা এখানে গ্রীষ্মকালে তাপমাত্রা অনেক বেশি, কেননা এখানে তাপমাত্রা প্রায় 37 to 40 ডিগ্রি ক্রস করে যায়, যার ফলে ফাইটোপথরা ইনফেস্টেন্সে বেঁচে থাকার সম্ভাবনা প্রায় থাকেই না এবং প্র্যাকটিক্যালি বাঁচতে পারে না। এবং তাহলে প্যাথোজেনগুলো তাহলে কোথায় থাকে? প্যাথোজেনগুলো শুধুমাত্র থাকে যে সিডগুলো, ইনফেক্টেড সিডগুলো স্টোরড থাকে, শুধুমাত্র সেখানে প্যাথোজেনগুলো রয়ে যায়।
What my lab has done is, with collaboration with James Hutton and Cornell, most of the work was done here. We did some analysis there. The wet lab, everything was done here. What we did basically was we tried to do that pathogen population map. So actually what led us to do this was there was a severe epidemic in 2013 and 14. There was a lot of social upheaval and farmer suicides, and a lot of things happened. And the net thing was that there was a total crop loss and the farmers suffered. So that led us to see what sort of population is there in West Bengal and the neighboring areas. So we went there, we did extensive surveys, and then we came back to the lab. We did extensive lab work using molecular genetic tools, and then we could find out that there were as many as 24 different populations in eastern India alone. So this was a major breakthrough, because till date people thought probably it's just 1 or 2. So much diversity was never thought of. Now this was a turning point. We found 24 distinct populations of Phytophthora infestans in eastern region, out of which 19 were unique to the world. So if we translate this to control, how does it affect control? It affects us in the fact that we have to have separate control measures for each of these regions corresponding to the population that is there. So now we are on that way to do a map, because we are going to share our data with Euroblight, with whom we already have a collaboration. And the Asia Blight, Louis Cook, she's the coordinator. She's in touch with us. She wants us to be a part of the Asia Blight. So we are now all in the map making business. Hopefully, maybe in a year or two, we will have populated the Indian map.
Sometimes you will find potato has got greenish tinge under the skin. It is very harmful. Basically, it contains solanine. And sometimes you find black spots or sprout in the potato. So that part should not be consumed, that should be definitely discarded because it's poisonous and it contains a lot of solanine, which results into solanine poisoning, which might cause stomach upset, or sometimes it may lead to diarrhea or abdominal pain. It might lead to nausea and a headache. It should be removed. And after that, it can be boiled or mashed. One must consume it in the boiled form or mashed form, or as a part of vegetable, or as a part of healthy balanced diet. It should not be consumed in a fried form or finger chips form or packaged chips form. For underweight people, it can be consumed in 200-300 grams of potato can be consumed. For normal balanced meal, you can consume 100 grams of potato per day, and for obese, it should be consumed in a smaller portion, that is around 50 grams every day as a balanced meal.
হচ্ছে রে মাইক্রোফোন হচ্ছে না তো আলুর ফলন নেই কিছু করে কি হবে রে আলু কি হবে ওই হবে আর কি লস পুরো পয়সা উঠবে তো চাষিরা পয়সা তুলতে পারবে এরকম ফলন বেরোলে
সরকার খালি বলছে
এত হচ্ছে সরকার খালি বাড়িয়ে দিচ্ছে ফলন
নীল চাষের থেকেও বাজে অবস্থা হবে
কাগজে বেড়ে যাচ্ছে ফলন চাষির কাছে ফলন নেই চাষির মরণ ছাড়া আর কিচ্ছু নেই
The university scholars of ISI Kolkata and then Boston University and Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, they conducted a survey on the middleman intervention in potato farming in West Bengal. They surveyed about 72 villages and they found that 38% of the wholesale price they took away as their commission. So that means 60% of the wholesale price the farmers get for their produce. So if at the wholesale market you say it's a 4 rupees a kilo, the farmer get 2 rupees, 2.5 rupees a kilo for his produce, which is below their cost or at par their cost.
40-45 বছর চাষ করছি, চাষ করে তো উন্নতি বলতে কিছু হয় না, দিন আনা দিন খাওয়া চলছে। আলুতে যা খরচ হয় সেও আমরা পাচ্ছি না, আমরা দাম পাচ্ছি না ফসলের দাম। আমার যে ফসলের যা কস্ট মানে যা খরচ হয় সেটা আমরা পাচ্ছি না। এক বছর পেলে 5 বছর লস হচ্ছে। এই গত বছর তো 30,000 টাকা বিঘে খরচ করেছি, 15,000 টাকা পেয়েছি। পুরো লস, মহাজনের কাছে দেনা, আজও দেনা শোধতে হবে। আর এবছর আলুর ফলন হয় না, যে আলুটা হয়েছে সে আলুটা বাজারে অবিক্রি, ছোট আলু বেশি, এর কোনো দাম নেই। বড়টার দাম আছে, এর কোনো দাম নেই। তাহলে বিঘে যদি আমার 20 বস্তা ফেলে দিতে হয় তাহলে আর কী পাবো? এবছর আলু তো বিঘে 40টা করে আলু হয়েছে, আর ছোটোটা ধরে নিয়ে হয়তো 60টা আলু হয়েছে, 60টার মধ্যে 20টা বাদ, তাহলে কীভাবে চলবে?
So what will the poor farmer who has only 2 cutters of land and has no access to capital, what he will do? He will borrow money, and if he doesn't get the remunerative price, he cannot repay the loan. And if he falls into a debt trap, he has a family, he has a daughter to manage, and then he has his kids to give education. Even they cannot give food at times.
জ্যোতি, চন্দ্রমুখী এই দুটি চাষ আমাদের এখানে হয়, আর অন্য আলু হয় না। সমানে খরচ, কিন্তু দাম আমরা পাচ্ছি না। তাহলে চাষির দুর্ভোগের শেষ নেই। সার খোলের দাম বৃদ্ধি পাচ্ছে বই, কমছে না। লেবারের দাম বাড়ছে, কমছে না। কিন্তু আমরা এইটা মার্কেট পাচ্ছি না, আলুর দাম পাচ্ছি না, ধানের দাম পাচ্ছি না, পাটের দাম পাচ্ছি না। পাট চাষ তুলে দিতে হলো কেন? পলিথিনের জন্যে পাট চাষ আমাদের তুলে দিতে হলো। বিশাল একটা চাষ ছিল, প্রফিট সেখানে হতো। সে বইয়েতেও লিখেছে পাট হচ্ছে অর্থকরী ফসল, কিন্তু সেটা ঘুরিয়ে আমাদের কাছে আজকে অভিশাপ এসে গেছে। 1 বিঘে জমি পাট করলে 20,000 টাকা খরচা করলে পাই 10,000, ওই জন্য ছেড়ে দিতে হলো।
আগে চটের ব্যাগ ছিল, ভিতরে স্টোরের ভিতরে গেলে ময়েশ্চার তৈরি হতো। এখন তো সেটা অনেক বস্তার ড্যামেজ হতো। এখন প্লাস্টিক ব্যাগ নো ড্যামেজ। আলু বৃষ্টি এলো, জল ঝরে গেল, ভিতরে চলে গেল।
Now we need a major reform in agriculture. Government can form the cooperatives. See, Amul is a big success story about how the milkmen, they become so successful. One more interesting point in agriculture sector is that our agricultural income is still out of Income Tax Act, income tax purview. An agriculturist who is earning 50 lakh of rupees a year, he is not paying an income tax. So why don't we impose an income tax? And whatever the income tax we get, we will subsidize it with the poor farmers. One more thing is that in West Bengal, our average potato production is 11 million ton, 10 to 11 million ton, but our cold storage capacity is 7 million ton. So most of this distress arises because the farmers will have to sell their produce at the distress when they harvest it. They cannot store it because of one is their affordability, and second is the lack of cold storage facilities. So you will have to make good cold storages.